take us to the Ed Foundation Annual Report, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, at this time, I'd like to invite our dear friend and President and CEO of the Ed Foundation, Mr. James Gravelos, and our other friend and the board chairman of the Ed Foundation, Mr. Juan Teagle, to the stage to give us an update on our great Ed Foundation.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Dr. Fenoy, members of the board. Just take a deep breath. It's been a long day, and I know you have a long way to go. We will be brief. Of course, you know the definition of an optimist. It's a woman who puts her shoes back on when the preacher says, and in conclusion. But pursuant to our MOU, I'm sorry, Doctor?
It took us a minute, we got it.
Pursuant to the MOU that we have with the school district, this is our one opportunity annually to come and share with you a more comprehensive overview. You get us in 3.5 or 4 minute segments every month, but it is nice once a year for you to get the total picture of what we do. The foundation is led by a staff of 7 professionals, and more importantly, 29 incredibly dedicated and incredibly generous board members. To my right is Mr. Juan Teagle from J.P. Morgan Chase, who assumed the chairmanship of the Ed Foundation Board on July 1st. We're going to be looking at the programs as we go through this presentation, but there are basically 4 categories of people with whom we interact. Obviously, we deal with the schools through the engagement with our Red Apple Supply, with the grants that we do by sponsoring the AVID program, the Go Teach grants, etc. We also then interact with the local business community. We bring them to the school district as donors and funders of our various programs. The Education Foundation itself, of course, we coordinate the fundraising efforts, we execute the programs in conjunction with your district staff, create the awareness. We also manage a number of fiscal agent accounts, and this is a service we do provide to the school district. And obviously our 4th constituent is the school district itself. Every program we do is consonant with your strategic plan, and also it aligns with the Florida state standards. What do we do? Real simple. Here are 5 areas that we interact with. The Red Apple Supplies, the CFEF Matching Grant Program, the Go Teach Classroom Grants, and also our program-specific grants. Now let's just kind of take these one by one as we go through. We'll start with Red Apple Supplies, which, as you know, is our signature program. In about 2 hours, I'm going to give you the half-year update and prepare to have your minds blown, as mine was today when I looked at the numbers. It's amazing to think we're still only in our 3rd full year of operation at Red Apple Supply, and you can see the growth in the timeline. On the top of the timeline, you will see the schools as we've gone from 8 to 31 to 42 to this year. We are serving 53 of your district schools. And then at the bottom of the timeline, you're going to see the amount of product that has been distributed. Already in just 3 years, we're well over $1 million. You see a dramatic jump in the last 2 years from $270,000 in fiscal year 2018 to last year we distributed $610,000 of product to our district teachers. And you see the projection for this year where we are projecting that we will distribute just over $700,000 in school supplies. Again, a little bit more on Red Apple Supply. On the right side of that slide, you are seeing some of the major corporations that fund and support the program. I think we can agree there's been significant growth as we've gone through these last 3 years. But at the bottom of this slide, you'll see what we highlighted this year, the Backpack Initiative program, where a number of our local business partners stepped up and we were able to provide a backpack to every elementary school child in Pahokee, the Glades, and we also served Hendry County since U.S. Sugar is based there. We anticipate this is going to be growing. In addition to that effort in the western part of the county, there were 4 or 5 other businesses that all adopted schools and made sure that every child in that school would get the supplies they need. We see this as a growth opportunity for the Ed Foundation. And Mr. Teagle, to my right, has wisely suggested an opportunity to bring the business community in as volunteers. I think the business community, as evidenced by J.P. Morgan Chase, they're looking for an opportunity today to make social impact, not just give dollars. And I think this is a great opportunity to bring our business community to see the incredible work of our teachers and students. The second area we focus on is our CFEF matching program. Again, I think we've talked about this ad nauseum in the past, but so you understand, we are given some money from the state of Florida, which we then match dollar for dollar with local dollars. The good news is we've had great success matching that. The downside of it is we have no control over that. Much like Mike Burke in his presentation, there are certain things we just can't control. Whatever the state decides we're going to get is what we get, which is why you'll see in fiscal year 2018-2019, the CFEF matching program was $493,994. A dramatic jump to this year, $747,258. That's simply because the state of Florida allocated more funds to those matching grant programs. The good news is, because of our amazing business partners, we were able to match those funds dollar for dollar, including the second round funding, which, as I shared with you last month, we're now funding for the first time an ESE program. We're funding a program at Alamanda, which is very exciting for us because we have not done much with ESE in the past. We tend to focus on 4 buckets of funding: STEM, literacy, college readiness, and career readiness. Again, consonant with the district strategic plan. You see in that slide there all of the programs that we are currently funding this year through our CFEF matching grant program, just under $750,000. We will continue to fund the AVID program, which we agree the impact is substantial. Our Go Teach grants, about which I'll say more in a minute. The Alamanda Access program. We're funding the Global Collaborations program, Ms. Pincus. And also the OrKids program is a partnership with Pine Jog Environmental Center. First time we've dipped our toes into that water as well. Charging Forward is a literacy program funded locally by the Ventus Charitable Foundation, and then the healthcare innovation, we continue to work with Dr. Benevente. Our final program you see there, Rocket-Powered Robotics and Stepping Up STEM, are both obvious STEM programs that focus on the western part of the county. So even in our CFEF matching program, I want the members of the board to understand we are focused on our primary areas: STEM, literacy, career readiness, college readiness, and then, as we said this year, ESE. The second area we fund is our Go Teach classroom grants. You're going to see, again, a significant jump. In fiscal year 2018-2019, we awarded 62 grants totaling just over $67,000. This year, we awarded 96 grants totaling about $107,000. The simple reason there, it's our business partners who come to us and say, we love this program. I would say to the board, we've done, I think, an outstanding job, the staff at the Ed Foundation, in building the awareness of this program. We had 135 applications this year for Go Teach grants. We approved 102 of them. So your teachers are starting to figure out there is money available. So that is our Go Teach program, and I do want to thank the many of you who were there at the Go Teach grant ceremony back in September. Our third area of funding is our program-specific grants. Appropriate that Mr. Tagle, again, is seated up here with us today. J.P. Morgan Chase came in last year with $200,000 for the Fire Science Academy at Palm Beach Lakes High School. So you're going to notice in 2018-2019, a $220,000 grant, a seeming dip for 2019-2020, just because we knew that grant from J.P. Morgan was a one-off. It was to get the program started. However, this year we have the Jim Moran Foundation, who's come in with the Leadership and Educator Collaborative, and they're funding the training program, which was recently held at the Conservatory School with Principal Terry Stupas. I would say to you as the board, as we present this offering each year, this is going to be the new sweet spot for the Ed Foundation. Obviously, Red Apple Supplies will continue to be our signature program. Go Teach grants and our CFEF matching program, we're going to continue to expand those. But we'd like to see at least once a year a big idea, a new career academy being brought online, funded by one of our business partners. And I'm not going to make any announcements yet, but let me just tell you, one is coming, and very soon. Hint, hint. How do we do this? We do this through our incredible member partners. We do it through our fundraising. Our fundraising sources are basically, obviously, the annual grant we receive from the district itself, the foundation and business champions that we enroll, the license plate revenue, as well as the District One Give campaign. We also have an incredibly generous board. I do want to say publicly, we have 29 board members, and we have 100% participation from our board. Every single board member not only makes a contribution, most of them through their business, they also make a personal and meaningful gift. So our board members are generous not only with their prodigious talent and their time, but certainly with their treasure as well. We have 4 or 5 special events a year, one of those coming up in January. We now partner with the district to do the Principal of the Year ceremony, which is a great deal of fun for us. We just finished the Heroes in Education 5K a month ago. Tomorrow morning, I'll be at the Principal's Leadership Academy, hopefully attending with Mr. Barbieri's jacket, and we'll be awarding some checks out. It's the thing that we love to do is give money out to our teachers. Our evolution, and I think this is important for you as school board members to know, you can see a steady line of growth over the last, I'd say, 4 years. We've gone from a staff of 5 now to a staff of 7. We've gone from a board of in the high teens, low 20s to 24 to now we have 29 very dynamic board members. And when I conclude in a few minutes, you'll see a slide. And when you see the business collaborations for our board members, I think you're going to be as impressed as I am. They're just incredible individuals in our community. Obviously, the third line down shows the growth in Red Apple supplies, about which I've already spoken, and then the distribution of supplies and the program's impact. That's the number that jumps out the page. When we look at what your support has allowed us to do, just 3 years ago, we were impacting about 20 to 35,000 students. In fiscal year 2018-2019, 122,000 students, and we're projecting this year 135,000 students will be involved in programs that are funded or supported by Your Education Foundation. So steady growth, and it all really starts with your support. When we look at the total breakdown, this just gives you an overview of where that support is coming through the CFEF matching program, through one-time grants, and then certainly Red Apple Supply. This, I would say, if we had to title this slide, this is the value we're bringing to the school district. And you can see that that number has certainly gone up over the last 3 years, from just under $800,000 to about $1.2 million to almost $1.5 million projected for this year. And this is the value in terms of the grants we bring and the product distribution through Red Apple Supply. Where are we going in the future? As I said, Red Apple Supply, we're going to steadily grow. We're at 53 schools right now. My plan in 8 years is that we would be serving all 179 district schools. I think it's criminal in the United States of America that any teacher ever has to dip into their own pocket to buy school supplies for their students. That just should not happen. We're going to continue our steady growth and expansion of the Go Teach Classroom grants. We awarded 102 this year. I'd like to see us award 202 in future years. And then, as I said earlier, we will pursue one major grant-funded career academy per year, certainly in conjunction with the school district CTE office. We're working very closely with Dr. Jay Bogus to make sure that whatever he has in mind is what we can fund, and likewise. How are we doing this? Where are these funds going to come from? We're going to expand our Champions program, and we've already signed up 4 new champions this year. I shared with you last month in my presentation new dollars that are coming in, people getting excited about education, and that continues every month. 2 or 3 new champions of education step up to support the Palm Beach County School District. We're going to focus certainly on the backpack initiative as we get into the summer months, and I think our champions certainly respond to that program. We're working on some innovative fundraising ideas, really focusing on individual giving. I would share with you as a board, one of my frustrations coming in is most of our dollars that come in are corporate dollars. We've done over the years, to be frank, a kind of a lousy job attracting the individual giver. And we're talking about that now, creating a monthly giving program and ultimately what we call legacy giving, where people then include us in their planned gifts and those types of things. What are our needs? Well, obviously the continued support of the school district, and then the big one is real estate. Red Apple Supplies is doing fine. We're about to outgrow. I'd say in the next 2 years to 3 years, we will outgrow our current location at Riviera Prep, and the principal and team there could not be more supportive and helpful to what we're trying to do. But in the future, we are going to need to expand the space. We have had a task force that has been looking at a strategic growth plan, and I would say that a capital campaign committee is coming together, and I would love to see some further discussion. We've talked with Dr. Fenoy and some of the staff here. If the district can help us find some space on a district plot of land somewhere, I believe we could put together a capital campaign fairly quickly to raise the funds to build about a 20 to 25,000 square foot facility, which would house Red Apple Supplies, the warehouse obviously, a loading dock facility, and then the offices of the Education Foundation itself. We would bring those all under one roof. As you know, we're now down in Boynton Beach at the Education Network building with our foundation team, and then our 2 Red Apple staff are up in Riviera Prep. As you look at our board, and again, we start with Mr. Tagle to my right, just very quickly, I'm not going to read them all, I won't be that pedantic, but you look at some of these affiliations, almost every major company, corporation, or business in Palm Beach County is in some way represented on our board. And I repeat what I said to you earlier because I think it's a salient point. 100% participation in board giving. Every one of our board members' businesses supports education, and every one of our 29 board members makes a personal, meaningful gift to support the work of the Ed Foundation. And as you look at that list, I have to tell you, it's pretty doggone impressive. This is your staff. The part that excites me, and I think should excite you as well, they are an amazing group of dedicated people who spend every minute focused on education. This is not a job for them, ladies and gentlemen. This is a passion. 3 of the 7 people on that staff are former teachers. One, in case Jennifer, is a former school principal at Pace School for Girls down in Broward County. So they are dedicated to education in every sense of the word, and their goal is to do everything we can to make sure that we have all the resources that your teachers, schools, principals, and students need. that concludes my part. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tagle, and then we'll open up for some questions.
So really quickly, just wanted to thank you all for your continued support. Having sat through the budget odyssey, it was very apparent to me that, you know, the services we are providing are very real and very necessary, right? So thank you for your continued support. It's a personal passion of mine, having been a product of the Palm Beach County school system. I went to Jerry Thomas, Jupiter Middle, and Jupiter High, and it's really great and rewarding that every time we talk to the business community, they're looking for ways to get involved. We don't have to sell them on anything. It's how can we help? And so it's our goal to continue to be an organization that's a growth organization, and I think we've had a good story to tell, and we'll continue to, you know, grow our impact in the community. So thank you.
Questions? No. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for what you've done for our teachers and our students. Mr. Governors, I don't know how we stole you away, but I'm glad we did it. And if you get any job offers from anywhere else, if you let us know right away, I'm sure we'll match it, whatever we have to keep you. So, Mr. Tagle, thank you. I know you got a big job there with that huge board. I can't imagine having a board meeting with 29 board members.
29 board members.
Yeah. Okay. So,
It's tough to keep
Good
them in
luck.
check, so thank you.
You're already gone. I just want.
Ms. Andrews, then Ms. Brill, then Ms.
I just
Whitfield.
wanted to personally thank you, Mr. Tagle, Jim, being out at the Red Apple Supply Store, being in Pahokee and the backpack giveaway and the Glades, and just looking at how the Ed Foundation has really just grown tremendously. We need you so much. We thank you for all that you do, and anytime I can be there to assist with this effort, just let us know. We just really appreciate all of our sponsors. They're out there shopping with teachers and doing all kinds of things. So we really, really are so thankful.
Well, I would
Thank
say,
you.
and I thank you there, Ms. Andrews, I would say to the board, at a recent shopping day when we were doing our new STEM initiative, when we were passing out the science kits, one of your members was there dedicated and helping the teachers shop. And so we want to thank you, Marcia, for being a volunteer. Hint, hint to the rest of the board. How cool would that be when the teachers come back in August to shop, to have the school board there volunteering, helping them and loading up their carts and loading their cars. But Marcia, it made a huge impact to have you there. Thank you. You were very kind.
Ms. Brill.
And I have to tell you that I even brought my husband to unload the trucks when Office Depot came. But I just wanted to, I've said this before, but to James and to the whole board, but James in particular, I've watched as a board member the transition, the evolving of this organization. We went through a blip, and it's a completely new, vibrant group that's really helping us significantly. And so I'm going to put a plug out there for anyone listening. You have to come in the spring to our Distinguished Alumni Luncheon, because it's going to be very special. But everything you do is just with class, with passion. Every person that works, at the foundation, your staff members are always eager to help. And that's why it's so easy to engage all of the board members, because you really are a class act, and we appreciate everything that you do. So thank you.
So much, Karen. I appreciate that.
Ms. Whitfield, did you have your hand? Ms. Andrews?
I was just pointing because I also helped shop with a teacher. I was like, hey, I also did that. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Erica.
And lastly, I want to say to Dr. Fenoy, we all just returned from the Florida School Boards Association. So next year, I'd like to see us nominate the Palm Beach County Education Foundation for the award. They award school districts, foundations that are doing great work, and I've talked to Jim about that. So Dr. Fenoy and Mr. Barbieri, whatever the application process is, we're just going way up. And I heard them talk about other districts, but we've got them beat tenfold. So we're going to actually nominate you for that award next
That's
year.
very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
All right.
both.
Thank you.
We have two board discussion items. Dr. Robinson.